Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, then welcome. You joined me the day after England's Strongest Man 2025, which took place at the York Barbican yesterday, and it was a superb show where I ended up taking 4th place. This is going to be a full rundown of what happened, my thoughts on it, and plans going forward, basically. As I said in the last recap that I did a couple of weeks ago about the Royal Albert Hall show, I do tend to ramble, so I'm going to try and keep it as concise as I can. But thank you for joining me and hope it's a good watch. So obviously this show is the competition I put a lot of time and effort towards. Obviously the Royal Albert Hall was a slightly later call up, so going back to back with these shows was pretty difficult. Maybe I underestimated the recovery capabilities of both shows, but training for 10 sort of like world-class pro-level events in that quick succession. But I like a challenge, and it was really, really good. I'm not going to say no to competition opportunities that come up, especially in the stage I'm on where I'm sort of, progressing and climbing the rankings. So such is life. But it was a brilliant competition, and just first and foremost, like I say all the time, thank you so much for the support. I had so many of my friends and family who came up to support, the guys from the gym, Luke, Kieran, Joe, thank you so much. People I work with every day and who just unwaveringly support what I do. And speaking of unwavering support, my mum and dad who have shown up at every competition that I've done at the big level. And, I don't want to get emotional, but, they've done so much for me, and it means a lot that they come to all of my competitions and, see me do what I like to do. So, thanks, mum and dad, for your genetics in grit, determination, and maybe a little bit of strength as well. But thanks to everyone who comes and supports me, watches the YouTube, likes, shares, buys the live stream, whatever you do. Thank you so much. It's always appreciated. And I hope that I get that across and that my performance is worth watching. I mean, the standard in England is just crazy, guys. Like I said it yesterday when I was getting interviewed, but if you watched the competition as a strongman fan or you tuned in, you can see how close that competition was. The strength and depth that we have in England is just mental. Britain is obviously incredibly strong, but the strength and depth in England particularly is absolutely crazy. And it's nothing to be sniffed at for sure. So I knew the challenge I was getting into with this show, but I consider myself right up there, and I feel like I did prove that yesterday, which is always good. Thank you to Giants Live. As always, they put on just a brilliant competition and show, more importantly, that it was packed out in there, which was great. It's always smoothly run. The team is brilliant. So thank you so much again for a superb competition, Giants Live. Please go and support them. Go to a Giants Live show. They are just awesome. And if you can't go to a Giants Live show in person, or you don't want to travel, then go on officialstrongman.com and purchase the live stream. The best thing about the live streams is they have replay as well. So you can go back and watch all the shows for just £7.99 a month, which is a bargain. Anyway, we'll get into the events. I'm going to ramble, sorry. I'm just very thankful to everyone, and it means a lot. Deadlift ladder was event 1. I was absolutely chuffed with this. There's a really cool video. I was playing up to the crowd before the last bar, which was a big PB for me in a ladder format, that's for sure. And I was really happy to complete this. Ended up coming 5th on this event, and I did all 4 bars, 320, 340, 360, 380 in 37 seconds, I think, something like that, which got 5th place. And I stuck to my plan. I wore the Versa grips. I had a good run in with those. A lot of people have asked about them. They're like hook grip things, but they're flexible. With a bit of practice, they are absolutely superb for a deadlift ladder. I would never use them for like a max rep set or a deadlift max, but for a ladder, they're great for speed. And my plan was 3 as quick as possible, 10 to 15 second break, secure the 380, because in training 10 days ago, whenever it was, I failed 370 in a ladder in the place of a 380 basically. So I was worried that if I didn't take a break and rush straight into it, then I wouldn't get it. I didn't want to just stare at the bar. So I filled that void by being like, play up to the crowd, give me some noise, and got it locked and loaded, and got the ladder done, which was awesome. So that was a really good start to the show. Half the field finished that 380 bar, which is, again, just crazy. Like, this is English level, and you got half the field finishing a near 400 kilo deadlift ladder. Just crazy. Event 2 was shield carry. I trained very, very hard for this one. I invested into it. Ian Wilton, who I will tag now, made me an awesome shield. And I was putting in a lot of work on it and making sure that I had the technique right. Making sure I could wrap around and get a good grip on it to try and get some good points on this, because I knew it'd be good points for me if I could train it hard. And that paid off. I came third on this event with 56 point something meters. Unfortunately, it just popped out my fingers, went straight onto my arms, which actually tweaked I didn't tweak it, but it made my bicep very tight because it just dropped into my arms. But because it was quite an awkward put down, it sort of just caught me off guard. I think I tweaked my knee putting that shield down. I hyperextended it. Anyone who knows me or has seen me compete or follows my Instagram knows that I've got quite severe hypermobility. I can do the splits. My knees lock backwards and I can bend my back crazy far in a log press or whatever. So I definitely tweaked my knee after that. I had to go see the physio. But it was a really good event, locked in third, and that was good. But yeah, after that event, I was suffering. I had to go see the physio. He ruled out any damage to my knee, which was good. But he lathered on some crazy deep heat, which was good. And that kept it nice and warm. I let it breathe a little bit. And then we had yoke. So the warm-ups were pretty trash for yoke, I'm not going to lie. I was very worried about my knee. I could barely stand on it body weight, but I could keep my knees bent and it was okay. I did a couple of yoke warm-ups and they felt really worrying. I said to Emily, I know my knee's going to snap and that's not going to be good. But yeah, I did my warm-ups and Emily basically said, big hair smelling salts and just see what you can do. I did my warm-ups. The last one didn't feel too bad. So I think my body had taken over with adrenaline or something. Went out, stumbled with the 420 yoke, but then completed it with no other drops, which is really good and was pretty much my competition goal for that event anyway. I think I took 8th on that, which was, to be honest with you, about where I thought I'd come. My yoke is not up to par at, proper pro level. As soon as we get above 400, it just starts to crumble a little bit. I don't know what it is about that loaded gait pattern, but my body doesn't really like it. My knees end up sort of just not working with me, and it really batters my body. So yeah, yoke, I got it done. It was slow but expected, and it took me 8th. It got me 8th place, which was okay. So after yoke was log. I came back, and I think to compensate for my knee, I hate the injury excuses. But, the part of being a pro strongman essentially is, that you are managing your injuries and your niggles and stuff like that. So it's just part of the game. But I've never had it quite to that level where I thought something would really get hurt. But anyway, log warm-ups were pretty terrible. My back was broken after the yoke because I think it compensated for my knee. But anyway, I did an 80, a 110 and a 130. Felt a little bit better each single. The 130 actually moved very well, and I thought, right, again, smelling salts up the nose, full send. So it was 150 for reps, and I got 6, which was really, really good. Felt like a big redemption from Royal Albert Hall, where I had a little bit of underperformance. Obviously failed a 160 there, it's first event in. And it actually felt like I could have done 8, but we only had 60 seconds. I reckon if there was 75 seconds, I would have done 8. But there's only so many reps you can actually fit in 60 seconds, unless your name is Jack Osborne, in which case you can do 9 like it's nothing. That's very, very impressive. But I was really happy with 6. I was really happy with my technique, my lockouts, and that secured me joint second along with 4 others or 3 others. There was a lot of us that tied on 6, which kind of split the points up crazy before the final event, which was the sandbag steeplechase. Which is one of my go-to events. It was only a 2-bag chase. Obviously, at Brits in February, we had a 3-bag steeplechase, which was absolutely savage. After that, I reckon I can take on any sandbag event. But I know that sandbag steeplechase is good for me. It's one of my go-to events. It was a great way to finish on a good event, and I had a fast finish. I was out with Kane Francis in 3rd and 4th respectively, and it was really, really good. Kane did great on that. He locked in his 3rd place position in the end, and I took 2nd on that event, which kind of locked me in for 4th. I don't think there was any way I was getting 3rd unless Kane had a disaster and loads of other people got in the way, which wasn't really going to happen at that point. But I was really happy to see him do well and take third after such a major injury back in January. But the lineup was great. You know, the lineup was just superb. 12 of the strongest guys in England. You know, the podium was Paddy Haynes, Andy Flynn, Kane Francis in first, second and third respectively. And it was a real tight battle between those guys. And, you know, I was somewhere in the mix as well, ending up in fourth. And then, you know, the point difference was quite big between the top four and then fifth onwards. Like the drop from fourth to fifth was quite big. I think it was 7 or 8 points. So it was very tight at the top, and I was happy just to be in the mix. And it was, you know, yeah, really crazy strong field of athletes that all deserve to be there and put in unbelievable performances. But anyway, my thoughts and what's next. I am really buzzing. It's good. It's an improvement on last year. I'm going in the right directions. You know, the standards are only improving, and, you know, I'm improving with them. So that's really good for me, and I'm happy with that. You know, 3 people that beat me are 3 people that have been to World's Strongest Man. You know, Andy just won UK's Strongest Man. Paddy came 5th in the world, 2nd in Europe's. Kane has been to World's Strongest Man, and he's done all sorts of other shows and is a very experienced strongman at this stage. So yeah, I'm happy to be right behind those guys. I'm definitely hungry to improve. You know, my plans from now, I've got the Shore Classic Open, which is in Colorado. That's in August, early August, so in 3 weeks' time. I'm really looking forward to that because I think it'd be good to get into an international lineup, compete against a lot of the Americans and a couple of Canadians, and just see where I stack up there and have some fun. And then after that, it's going to be a big off season. You know, I'm not actually sure if I've got myself a spot at Britain's Strongest Man. I don't think it's confirmed, but I will train for Britain's Strongest Man anyway, which will be early next year, and hopefully get into like some really good shape for that, make some more improvements, and come in and do as best as possible. And if I don't get in, then something early next year we'll see the strongest version of me, which I'm really excited for. That's about it, really. I think I kept that under 20 minutes. Same as Royal Albert Hall, you know, I'm just really happy to come out unscathed, bar a very stiff and swollen knee today. But I think that'll be settling down over the next few days. Everything else feels pretty good. Body feels okay. Mindset is there, and I really want to improve and keep climbing the rankings in English and British strongman. And hopefully you guys come along for the ride. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you for anyone again who supported me over the weekend, and also for the Royal Albert Hall show a couple of weeks back. It really means a lot to me. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow it. That would be superb. That really helps me out. Obviously, you can follow things that I do more closely on Instagram as well, if you don't already follow me there. We're building a real good little community on this YouTube channel. I'd love to see it grow. And I will catch you guys in the next video. See you soon.